Stamps-N-Lingers, and it is Thursday at 1 p.m. So let's go ahead and get everything set up here. Let me be sure my computer is acknowledging the fact that I am doing a video. Oh, I have a live button. That's a good sign. Very good sign indeed. I have the spinner of death here. Oh, there we go. Okay, good. So I'm hoping that means I am live and that you are going to be joining me soon for a card today. Now, this one is a Christmas card. Can you tell? You know how you can tell because it's got a gingerbread man, and we only make gingerbread at Christmas, but apparently I need to fix that because I just realized that was a little bit too crookedy. Okay, there we go. Hey, Karen. Hi, Shirley and Debbie. And thank you, Karen. I appreciate that. All right, so here's the gingerbread man, and he's got all the gingerbread things, including some peppermints. You know, those are our favorites here, and some gumdrops. Can you see that those are a little bit shiny? I like the spicy ones with the sugar on the outside because, you know, more sugar is always better. So those are the kind I made with a little bit of clear wink of Stella. And do you guys remember the peppermints, the real red and white peppermints? There they are. And they are still in the online store, so you can still get them. No, I did not tease you with them. And then on the inside, I've got another couple of gumdrops. Oh, that needs a little bit of, you know, that one needs a little bit of clear wink of Stella. I noticed that my little pink one right here didn't have any clear wink of Stella. So let me fix that. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with our card. And this will all be on my blog tomorrow, so you don't even need to take notes or nothing. We're going to start with our gingerbread man. Now, the gingerbread man, did you know that the gingerbread man can? He can. The die set, it took 2 of my magnets, and this one right here is what makes the gingerbread man. If you cut him out from a 5.5 by 8.5 piece of cardstock, cut the whole thing, then you can fold him there at the arm and have yourself a very cute shaped card. Okay, I didn't do that, but as I was putting my card together, I was like, man, I should have done something different, and I may do that at a later date. But for today, we're just going to do one, and I'm going to stamp him right here, and then I'll just cut him out with just one side of this die. Okay, so we're going to stamp him with Versamark and emboss him with white. Wow, let me move this. I'm sorry. I've got my computer too close to me. It's taking up my space, and I don't like it. It's in my personal space. Okay, get our white embossing powder ready to go here. And I'm going to tap, 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 tap. Now, the stamp set has a lot of several different faces, and it's got some squigglies for frosting. But I kind of decided after doing 1 or 2 to do it one part at a time. Why did I do that? Because it was taking long enough for me to get all the parts on that when I adhered the powder, my Versamark felt a little bit less wet than I would have liked, and so I didn't get as much embossing powder, and so I didn't get the nice bright white frosting look that I was after. Okay, so we're gonna sprinkle it with our white embossing powder. Now, if you've been disappointed in the past by white embossing powder, I would urge you to do like I did, which was simply discard the white I had, the old version. It just was kind of vanilla-y looking, not white at all. All right, let's put this back on for just a second. The new white, the Wow, is quite white. It's quite white. There we go. So that makes sense. Make sure I don't have any extra around, and then we will emboss this. And we're going to go ahead and use the high setting on our heat tool. You can use the low setting to dry ink or watercoloring or whatever. Now, when I first made this, I actually gave him a squiggle across the center, and I decided I didn't need that, so we're not going to do that this time because it ended up covered up by my collage. I was doing a little experimenting with decorating gingerbread. How many of you guys make gingerbread men? or let me rephrase, rolled cookies and then you decorate them, whether they're gingerbread men or whatever. I personally do not, because I'm intrigued by the theory, but then when I get going, I'm like, oh my gosh, I've still got 35 more cookies to do, and I'm already tired of it. So no, I don't do those. I do drop cookies or no cookies. If you want drop cookies, I'm your girl. If you want rolled cookies and shaped cookies, I'm not the place for you to come. Hey guys. Hey Carol, no problem at all. All right, so there's our gingerbread guy. Now here's what I did. Let me show you. So on this guy, I actually did emboss his face, and then I decided, oh, I'm gonna cut his little face out with black. And then I was like, oh, those don't fit. And then I was like 3 times right there. I like it with the white around it. It makes it pop just a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and do that again, even though I am then going to cover it up with cardstock. So don't judge me. There was method to the madness. I didn't just come up with it on my own. I mean, I did come up with it on my own, but it was well thought out, a very reasoned thing. Okay. Roll, cut, decorate 100. Oh my, Becky, more power to you, girl. That is not what this girl is all about. I make a lot of cookies, but I just can't. I just can't. But I am impressed that you do. Okay, so we'll get a couple of coats on there to get that just as bright as everything else. And let's cover this up. Hey, Sue, appreciate you coming. Okay. You'll be glad to know I've done almost all of the die cutting except this part right here because I wanted to do the embossing. I didn't get quite the coat on there that I would have liked. Let me see if I can add a little bit. It's not going to really matter because I'm covering it up, but you know, it's kind of bugging me. No, it's not going to add any. Okay, well, let me heat that up. Yeah, my problem with making the cookies is that I eat the cookies as well, and that's never good. But I take cookie plates to most of our friends, or I mail them. Okay, now what we're going to do is I'm going to take this die over to my die cutting machine, and I'm going to cut it out about like that, okay? So I'll be right back. The good news is this should be the only time I leave to do this, in theory, unless I mess it up. At which time, of course. Oh, I was going to show you something. If you guys, hang on a second. Let me show you. So if you decided you were going to make your card, don't forget when you're stamping your 5.5 by 8.5 piece that this is the front. Okay, so stamp your guy on this side so that you cut the back out like that. You see what I'm saying? You got to pay attention to where you stamp on your cardstock. Okay, that is my tip for the day. There it is. That's all there is. That's all you get. All right. Okie dokie dokie. I got to get it lined up. And then I'm going to put a sticky note on it so it doesn't move around. I wish Stampin' Up! Would be working on another magnetic plate. I really do. I really, really do. Okay. Alright, here we go. It's all set up, so now we're going to cut him out. It's going to make god-awful noises and make you think, oh my gosh, I broke my die. Okay, so then when you take him up, you pick up your die, you're going to have like this. So all you do here is a quick little fussy cut. All right. So we're just going to follow his little hand around like that. You probably couldn't see it, but right there is the crease that the die puts into the cardstock so that you can fold it. I'm gonna just kind of go around here and tidy that up a little bit like that. There we go. Okay, so there is our gingerbread man, the gingerbread man. Okay, now let's go ahead and put his little face on before we get too far down in the works here. Now I used, you can see in the die set, there is one face and then two faces. This would be a face with like a, ooh, mouth like that. And then here's a little winky face. And then here's a, I'm not really sure what face, but it's another face with a littler mouth. But I wanted to use this one right here. And so that's what I've already cut out from Basic Black. And I'm going to dig him out, dig those little pieces out of my die bowl here. My die bowl is sitting right here. So there's two obby balls. Uh-oh, come back here. These little guys are little and they leap all over the place. That's what they do. All right, now where are you, mouth? Oh, mouth, there you are. Don't be trying to hide from me, mouth. Okay, all right, okay, okay. I remember that. Well, I'm glad it's amusing everybody. That's a good thing. That means my work here is nearly done. Okay, so I'm just going to put a little tiny bitty bit of liquid glue. And I mean, like, there's just a little tiny itty bit of liquid glue. And then I'm going to make sure I'm putting him on right side up. It's a little hard to tell with such a small piece, or my eyeballs are not what they used to be, which is also true. And we'll just put him on like that. Oh. Okay, I'm holding my, I'm not talking because if I do, I won't be able to put these on apparently. You know, that's the same thing as you turn your radio down so you can see better when you're parking or when there's traffic, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so let's put that aside and we'll get our card front started. I've used a little bit of Autumn Toile, and before I get him put on, I am going to stamp some crumbs. It's actually crumbs, I'm quite certain of it. Either that or it's splotches, but I'm calling them big crumbs. And I am going to stamp them in Early Espresso ink. Oh, that's what it is. You're right, those are eyelashes. I could not figure out what those were. I was gonna cut it so I could, you know, like maybe see if possibly I would know what it was after I cut it out, and then I didn't. So thank you for that. I'll bet you are correct. Those have to be eyelashes. Okay, we're just gonna stamp a couple of 3 up there, and a couple of 3 or 4 down here. And if we have to add, because I get carried away with decorations, then we can do that. Okay, all right. Whew, that got hot. We're in that period of time where it wants to be fall, but it isn't quite ready to give up summer yet. So we get really lovely cool nights, which is awesome because we're sleeping with the windows open, which is one of my favorite things. I really like to have the windows open, especially at night. But we're also able to keep them open until about 11 or 12, and then it gets warm enough that you want the house closed up and the air to work until it's time to go to bed. So windows open, windows closed, windows open, windows closed. It's just kind of what we do here. Okay, now we're going to do some dimensionales to adhere him to our card front. And I'm not going to put them real close to the edges in case I want to tuck something under, because you know I can always add, because I have my handy tweezers. All right. And he's going to be at a jaunty angle. Now, you don't want to be scared. I used quite a few colors on this because gumdrops are different colors. It's a known thing. All right, so let's go ahead and put him on like that. And let's get us a sentiment ready. And well, no, you know what? Let's assemble the candies. Now, I've done some cutting out and some stamping, so let me refresh your memory. There is a die. Doesn't that sound like it should be the start of a song? There's a die in the window. This die right here cuts out a lollipop and a pinwheel. So I did one of those in Poppy Parade. My red is Poppy Parade, and one in basic white. And so we now have 2 lollipops. And then these guys, I believe, are from that. Yes. Okay, so you get those at the same time, like that. And then I've got 2 candy wrappers. These are my Star Brights. So this is my Ponies and Finn's favorite die. And then I have one of these here pinwheels that's going to go on like that. And I thought I had a red pinwheel. I do have one. I'm so glad I didn't throw these away. That would have been very bad. There we go. That comes from this die. Okay, so I've got a red and a white. And by red, I mean Poppy Parade. And then I did the candy canes. And the candy canes, you get two dies with one. So this is the solid and then the stripe. So I have a white solid and a granny apple green stripe. And then I've got my gumdrops. And we have got gumdrops in all the flavors. We've got the Pool Party flavor. We have the Shaded Spruce flavor, the Pretty and Pink flavor, Granny Apple Green flavor, and Poppy Parade. So we have all the flavors. Well, we have 4 or 5 flavors. Okay, so let's go ahead and do a little assembling here. Ooh, 60 on Sunday morning? Yeah. Of course, you guys will have to be pulling out your like down jackets, your puffer jackets for 60, right? I mean, y'all get your skin, your blood's all thin, even worse than ours is. I put my hoodie on this morning. It was 64. Now I was trying to shed it very quickly after I started working at the barn. Oh, come on now, glue. There we go. I'm just going to put a little liquid glue on the stripes. You don't need very much liquid glue. Where people get in trouble with liquid glue is thinking they need to put it on like it's Elmer's and they are in kindergarten. Nope, it is not like that at all. All right, so we're just going to put that on, and all of a sudden you have a stripe. You could use red if you prefer a candy cane that's peppermint. I always like the spearmint ones my own self. Now to make my lollipop, what I did is, because I wanted a white stick, I just could not get around a red stick. And you know what? If you look at my card, you'll see that you can't even see the stick. This is the lollipop right there. But I'm making the lollipop, 1, so you can see how I did it and how you can do it. But 2, because I never know what my collage is going to end up doing, and I don't want there to be a red stick showing. Okay, okay. So that's it. Okay. So I have my red, and I'm going to put this lid on real quick. Okay, there we go. I'm just going to cut the stick off like that. You don't need to keep the stick. And then I'll glue the red to the top of the white, just lining up the edges like that. And then I'm going to put this guy, now wait a minute, what did I do here? There we go. Yep, okay, good. Didn't I need that red one? No, I guess I didn't. I must have needed it for something. Oh, don't do that, Mary. Don't do that. That's why. Whew, I almost screwed that up. I mean, it wouldn't have been like catastrophic, but it wouldn't have been exactly right. There we go. That goes on there. That's why I didn't have an extra one of those over here. You see, what is the lesson there? That was a life lesson, and you didn't even know you were going to get one. You thought you were coming to see a card. The life lesson is trust yourself. I had very carefully made sure before we started, for once, I'd made sure that I had all the things cut and they were all in my little bowl. And then when I got on camera, I started doubting myself. Trust yourself. You know what you're doing. Okay, so there's our lollipop. I don't need this guy. Still don't need him. I didn't need him before the video started, and I didn't need him now. Hey, Kat, thank you for joining. I appreciate it. We're just assembling some candy right now. This is actually quite a bit easier than actually making candy. It takes way less time. Speaking of cooking, I sort of was. Go with me here. Keep with me, people. Try to keep up. I've been doing some batch cooking. My friend's little baby, 6-month-old baby, had to have open heart surgery to close up a hole, some kind of thing that's apparently kind of genetically not all that uncommon. But 6 months is a booger. He's been out of surgery now for 2 days. He had a surgery on Monday, and he's doing really, really well. Yesterday, they sent me a little video of him laying in his bed, unhooked from all the crap that they'd had him in the first day or two, and reading a book. So, you know, when you can read a book right after open heart surgery, you're doing okay. All right. Now, let me put these back. I'm going to lose these if I don't put them back, huh? Okay, here we go. But anyway, I've been doing some batch cooking so that when they come home, I can take meals over to them. So between their grandparents, you know, her parents and Chris's parents and me, they should have food for a couple of, you know, for a while they're trying to get everything together. Okay, one last thing. I've got a 7/8 inch by 2 inch piece of Pool Party, and I am going to stamp my Sentimente in Shaded Spruce. Yeah, he's doing really well. And he's just as, well, I'll tell you what, he's a cute little booger. They showed him, he was laying in the bed and he had his book and he had his, you know, he had like one of those onesie doohickeys with the feet on it. And his little feet are crossed at the bottom like, I'm just laying here reading. It is a little sad for a 6-month-old to have an open heart zipper, but you know, it'll probably fade with time, probably. All right, let me see if I can get this on straight. I did cut 2 just in case I wasn't able to get it straight with 3 sides. There we go. I'm going to grab a drink, guys. My throat is tickling. Okay, so now we're ready to assemble the collage. We will begin by adhering our... Okay, so funny story. Sort of funny. So when I was assembling the card, I put it on like this, and then I started putting things together, and all of a sudden I was like, nope, I think I'll rethink this candy cane because somebody out there, Amy, is going to mention that the candy cane is in a not so good spot. So we're going to make sure the candy cane is not where it would garner any kind of controversy. Okay, and I'm going to do him up with some liquid glue. And then I am going to adhere the lollipop, 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 a lolly, 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 lollipop. I'm going to put him right there, and I'm just going to put a dimensional right there on the card front. I know, you guys got it. See, aren't you glad I didn't put it there? Because every one of you, that's all you'd have been able to see. You could not have then looked at the card without seeing that. But now every time you look, you'll be like, gosh, I'm really glad she didn't put it there because it's a really cute card. But it would have been kind of weird if she'd put it where she'd said when she first got ready to make it. Okay, so we'll put this down here like so. And let's put him up just a little bit. There we go. Okay, okay. Okay. And then let's go ahead and put a bow. I got to tell you what, I know I am using this way too much, and y'all are wondering if I have no other ribbons or trims. The truth is I do, but the other truth is I love this. This is the new black and white and gold baker's twine from the Modern Christmas Suite, which is an online exclusive, and I absolutely love it. In fact, I really actually probably need to buy another pack already because I am going through this like... Grant took Richmond. Okay, so I'm just going to do a simple bow. And Amy does catch everything. Look at her trying to act like she's so innocent. I'm so innocent, butter wouldn't melt in my mouth. Speaking of, why is butter wouldn't melt in my mouth an indication of sweetness? Or I'm a good girl, I wouldn't ever say anything like that or even think such a thing. Why is that? Because I don't understand. I don't understand. If butter won't melt in your mouth, aren't you dead? Just saying. Okay, now somewhere on here, on this desk, somewhere, there it is, right in front of me. Good thing it wasn't a snake. Where's my glue dots? And I'm going to adhere my bow with a glue dot, and I'm going to put him right there, like that. Just there like that. Just there like that. Okay. Like that. Okay. And then, let's see, I think think we can go ahead and perhaps we can put our sentiment on. Yes, and then I can slide the other doohickeys under there. Okay, good idea. We'll put a dimensional right there. And let's see, that may work for a second just to get him started. Let me make him as straight as I can make him. Okay. I may need double. I'm going to do a double right there. All right. Oh, now, Mary, you just don't act like you made it okay. Don't mess with them. They know when you've messed up. Okay, we're going to put that down so it's not on the lollipop. It raised it up way too much. Just not acceptable. Here we go. Okay, now let's see. Oh, that's much better. See, now here's the dealio. I didn't need a double when I made the first one. So you guys have to think about it, and if it needs a double, it needs a double. And how do you know it needs a double? Because it's got a hump in the center of it, like weird, sticking up weird. And you don't want, nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. Let's see, let's get this down like this, and then we can put that down right about there. Is that straight? Yeah, that's straight. That looks straight. Okay, good. There we go. There we go. Okay, okay. So, okay, okay. Now, I'm going to go ahead and let's tuck in our Star Brights here. Starlight, starlight. And we're going to put him right in here, about like that. See, it's going to be different every time. Do you see how that stick is sticking out if I do that? Or I can do this. And it still sticks out a little bit unless I make sure to cover it. And that's what I'm going to do. So let me put a dimensional right there. And then I can slide him under the bow, over the stick. Under the bow, over the stick. Under the bow, over the stick. There we go. Okay. And then this guy, I had him left over and I thought, I need to do this. Yes, but why is it a thing? If it's, I know it's been around, I've been around since the 16th century, I know that, but why is it a thing? I don't understand why it's a thing. That's the thing, do you see? We'll stick him under there. Okay, now we're gonna put on some gumdrops, gummy gumdrops. And I have 6, and that violates my odd even number, but I'm going with, they're all different colors, so it's like all different things. Just work with me there. Okay, so I've got a couple that are laid down with glue, and then I pop one over the top with the dimensional. Okay. Oop, get there. All right, let me fix this. My fingers are acting old today. They can't feel anything. Isn't that bizarro? Okay, there we go. All right, and then we're gonna put a pink one. Put a little pink one down here. And I did wait to color with the Wink Estella until I had gotten my gumdrops on my card. Yes, you would also want to be careful with the lollipop stick, Sue. That is accurate. Okay, let's put that down. All right. And then let's see, we'll put another couple up here. Let's put this one on with a dimensional. Oh, now I've got that song in my head. Lollipop, lollipop, hey, lolly, lollipop, 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 hey, lolly, lolly, lolly. Okay, and then this guy is going to go on with a little liquid glue. One might say, Mary, why didn't you put it on first? I don't know, because I'm a goober. And I can't make that grab it, but I can do it with my tweezers. Okay, now we're just going to add some of those Wondermus Real Red and White Peppermints. Original idea was that a person with a truly cold or emotionless manner could have butter placed in their mouth without it melting. Okay, so it doesn't mean sweet and good. It means I'm a cold-hearted, you know what, like that. That's what it really means. But see, I think people, by people I mean me, have been using it wrong for all of my years, ever since the 16th century. So apparently, I not only didn't know what it was, I absolutely did not know how to use it in a sentence. Or I did, but nobody knew who I was talking to knew what I was talking about, and so they couldn't go, yo, Mary, that is not even sort of the thing. I'd have been like, yeah, you're right. It probably isn't. All right, let's see. Let's put a couple of 3 of these. Now, these come in 3 sizes, so I'm using the smalls and the mediums. The bigs are make quite a statement, I'm just saying. So I didn't use those on here. All right, so there you go. I think that is our card front. What do you think? Pretty cute? You like it? Okay. All right, so on the inside, we're going to stamp the second sentiment in Shaded Spruce. And I'm going to stamp a couple of gumdrops. And you'll see how fun they are. We're doing Shaded Spruce, sugar and spice, and everything nice. Because I'm using those. Do you guys like the spice gumdrops? Those are the ones I like. Also, I like licorice ones, the black licorice. Don't judge me if you don't like licorice. That's fine. I mean, you're wrong, but fine. Now, we'll make a couple of gumdrops here, and I'm going to make my gumdrops pink and red, pink and red. And I'm going to get my envelope out because I'm going to make them the same color. And this way I can just stamp one time. Yay! Somebody who likes black licorice. It is my favorite. I do love it. Where's my pink? Oh, there it is. Okay, here we go. So these two, you get both gumdrops on one stamp. So all you got to do is pick which one you want, which color, and you can just kind of put the edge of it onto the ink pad. So I inked the little one in Pretty in Pink, and the bigger one in Poppy Parade, and I'm going to stamp him right there, like that. And then I will do that again. Why are they both the same color on the inside and the envelope? So I don't have to clean my stamp. Pink, Poppy Parade, like that. Okay. Now, the only thing I have left, well, I have two left things. Ah, I know it. Spiced gumdrops, I know. And I do like red licorice as well, but if I was given a bowl of black and a bowl of red, I would, of course, go first for the black until it ran out, and then I would go for the red, because I am a fat person in my heart, and I like my food, okay? And I think Christmas is the best time of year for the candies. The candies are so good at Christmas. I do miss spiced gumdrops. I'm putting a little bit of the Autumn Toile on the envelope flap. And somewhere are my scissors. Ah, my goodness. You know, I think that's going to end up being the thing that will end up curtailing my card making career, is when my hands simply stop doing the things they used to do so easily. It's one thing to not be able to open a jar without assistance, and it's an entire nother thing to not be able to hold a card. Or Addie's little dog bowl. I have to be very careful when I go to tip it into her dog dish, because it has to soak, so it's in a little bowl, and it soaks in the little bowl. And I have to be very careful, or I will just drop it right on the ground, because I don't get a good hold of it. I feel like I have a good hold, but I don't have a good hold. And that's well, it's disappointing. I'm not going to kid you. All right. Now you could use black here, but I have my whites right ready, so that's what we're going to use. You grab another strip. And there we go. Oh, I already pulled that one off. And then I'm going to brush my gumdrops with my clear Winkostella so that they're shiny, spicy, sugar-coated ones. And we'll be done. Okay, so there we go. We'll get our Winkostella. Thank you, Lynn. And just give these all a quick brush. You can't really see it on the camera, I'm quite certain. But you can see them if you tilt your head and squint your eyes just right. You can see that these are shiny. All right. Like that. And then like that. And there you go. One gingerbread man, actually two now since I already made one, ready to go. But remember, this would also be a shaped card. You could cut the whole thing out and make him into a shaped card. And I was thinking this one would have been fun to not make a tent card, just make a solid one piece, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and then cut the shaped card and adhere the back of it to the card front, and then this part would open and it would just be flat. So that's another thing that you could do and still have a card that's not shaped, but it's shaped like a rectangle, because a rectangle is a shape. Okay, guys, I appreciate you spending part of your week with me, and I hope you will come back on Saturday. I do not know what we're going to make, but it'll be something, and I hope you'll like it. Have a good rest of your week, and we'll see you soon. Thanks. Ta.